what's going on? Legion of D here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds, and welcome to episode 12 of our daily gaming XP grind series. And right now we're just going to be doing some woodcutting, as we really um, aren't going to be doing this for the whole video, but I am going to be doing this for a little bit here, as I wanted to sort of put some focus on it as I put it in the back seat. As far as skills that I have been working on, this is one of those skills ultimately that's going to take quite some time, and I know that, but um, hopefully as they introduce new types of trees into the game, um, XP will come a little bit faster. But it is interesting, and I think worth noting, that out of all the road maps, I think I mentioned this once before, that I don't see any information about potential new trees. They have mentioned a lot of different things. It could be one of the things that they're sort of keeping under wraps, not as to not tell us, but they've already given us so much information in a lot of the roadmaps. So it's possible that's just one of the things they haven't mentioned, just for the sake of they've, obviously prioritized certain information. So we're going to stop doing that now, as it really wasn't what we wanted to do, but I sort of saw a bunch of trees together and decided to go do it. So let's go ahead and get started with what we are going to be doing today. So let's go ahead and drop this stuff in here and begin, shall we? So put this stuff back and let's get started. So our staff's at a pretty good health, and what we're going to be doing today is something a little bit different than we have been doing. I'm trying to decide which one I want to do. I guess ultimately we'll start here. So we're going to be running in here, and we are going to grab this vault core, as it's not really important that we grab it, but at the same time we're already in here, so why not? I'm going to grab this rune essence, as it's obviously XP, so why not grab it? So anyways, nice little bit of rune essence there, and we already have that, which we already have all the different recipes. Really excited for when they add more to the game. So obviously this vault doesn't provide a lot in the form of items or nodes that we can really get any XP from, aside from that little bit of rune essence that we did get right there. But we are going to leave here and then probably go to another one. One thing I want to try to focus on in this video is flax. One thing I want to focus on in this video is actually going to be trying to reach 4 million mining experience. So we're really close, but it's obviously going to take a little bit more time. So we're waiting to load in here, which could be, there should be 2 creatures in here, 2 Garu, Archer and a Berserker. I believe it's a Berserker, but he hasn't popped up. I don't know why we have to wait so long to load in right here, as there's really nothing in here that, I mean, our buildings are actually quite far from here, if I remember correctly, so I'm not sure why the lag right now. It doesn't really make any sense to me, but it is what it is. I think some of our buildings are kind of close, but not in the way of that it would do this. So this is a problem, though, as this is a place to get resources, and the fact that it's taking so long is actually really unfortunate. So here is the Berserker, and unfortunately with magic, that's going to make it really hard. I don't want to die here. I can't believe I just died, like, after waiting to spawn in, and now I'm dead. So actually, unfortunately, I actually have to go back in there to get my body. I'm actually very disappointed right now. I don't know. That's another thing, I guess, with magic, right? Even though it's as powerful as it is, You could see there that I got annihilated. Sorry about that. I got annihilated, and there's really no defense when it comes to that, right? You're sort of just at the mercy of getting slaughtered. Where's my body? Oh, it's right here. So I guess we're gonna have to kill this guy the old-fashioned way, which I don't even see him, which is weird. So potentially there was the lag of loading in, and it sort of let me walk, but it shouldn't have. I'm not quite sure, but there should be a ranger over here as well. So I'm not sure what's going on with the game right now, but we're just gonna go with it and keep getting XP. So hopefully he spawns in and we can kill him and get a little bit of attack XP. But we are trying to go for 4 million mining XP, and that was terrible the way I died. I feel like it was honestly my fault. I should have been on it more, but obviously having to click the keyboard to try to get my shield out to block, I failed at that. So that's why we died. But it's not the end of the world. And I imagine that when new updates come to the game and areas become more and more increasingly dangerous, that's going to be interesting to see the game change in that way. So here he is, still here, going to block his initial hit and then destroy him. There we go. So he's dead now. There should have been a ranger over here. I'm not sure what happened with that. I really hate taking that one rental. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. Is this more here? It is. So let's go ahead and grab this. Ultimately, copper and tin don't really provide a lot of mining XP when you're farming out here, but at the same time, I just like to get it anyway. It is still XP, and obviously nodes take time to respawn, so it's a good way to still stay on track and get XP when iron or potentially gold and silver are sort of responding, right, to the respawn time. So I don't really mind it, as this is what I like basically before I really started building a lot of foundations and like the Titanic and things like that. This was what I did every single day, hours on end. Just sort of got on the game and got copper and tin, and it was quite an effort, honestly. So um, we have all these different ones set up, so we can just sort of go to each spot and get the XP, and this is pretty much what it looks like. It's nothing too crazy. This one was always difficult for me. There's the Rangers, and then you've got the fact that this one's above. So we'll try to get out of his sight, and we'll use magic to kill him here. So that provided quite a bit of magic XP. I'm not even going to waste my time mining right there, though. Honestly, I'm just going to go here, grab a little bit of this, and go ahead and just keep getting XP and mining. Sorry about that. I've been actually don't know what it is. It's like I've got a frog in my throat, but not quite sure. Maybe it's because I've been talking a little bit more lately while playing this game. Not quite entirely sure. One of my favorite uh, rich nodes is actually, I'll show you here in 1 second if these two wolves don't kill me, but this will be a little bit of good magic XP unless I die again. I really don't want to die anymore, but that's quite nice. So it looks like, yes. So anyways, my favorite nodes for tin are actually, I will take you there in 1 second. Want to kind of grab the rest of this copper as it's quite a bit, so it sort of just makes sense to grab it since we're here. But yes, so we need to reach. I'm going to show you guys the my favorite location for tin, which, if I'm not mistaken, is went to the wrong place. But that's okay. I don't know why I'm waiting to load in here. I really don't think I'm that close to anything. I don't think the Titanic. I'm not. I mean, really, right here, maybe. So it's really unfortunate. I mean, I've got a really nice computer, so I'm not sure if it's just the way the game was designed But then again, the game wasn't designed to build massive structures like I did in such a large scale, so it's probably why that's happening, but it's okay regardless. So we're going to pop this here, and then we're going to take you guys to our favorite tin node. I want to make sure we grab this though really quick. So we've got that. It's hard, sometimes I forget. Here it is. So basically, these two are amazing, and if you actually Google it, it will say that the copper is more frequently found than tin, which I actually disagree. I think it's reverse. I think tin's a lot more rare than copper. When I first started playing the game, I actually had a hard time finding as much tin as I did copper. So it's interesting, but I don't necessarily agree with it. But we're gonna grab the rest of this tin right here. I should have brought a mining potion. Why do I do these things to myself? I just make the grind that much more complicated. I don't have to, but I do it out of sheer stupidity, apparently. So anyway, we're going to go here because I actually do want to get a mining potion, or at least an anti-poison potion, because we're probably going to go get some gold, and we're probably going to get some silver, so that way we can get closer to reaching our goal, and then that will help a lot. So we'll grab these. Our inventory is already full of so much junk. It just happens so fast. I wish we could hold more items, but we can't. So let's go ahead and drop this in there, drop that in there, and then we've got quite a bit. Um, let's see. Okay, so we put all that away. That's so much faster using the click method. It's ridiculous. I've basically been putting myself through an enormous amount of an ordeal, and I didn't even need to. We are going to grab some clay. Let's go ahead and pop this mining potion. This is going to give us really good artisan XP and some mining XP. Obviously not artisan initially, but once we're actually turning it into its final product, which I'm sure a lot of you know who have been following my content and my daily XP videos. So the only thing about it is it does take a little bit of time to gather it all. I mean, I would have to probably say anywhere between 7 to 10 minutes to grab all of it. So it's actually not really like extremely long. It's just I've done it so many times. But anyways, let's go ahead and grab it. And eventually I might add another lodestone on the other side, because otherwise I've got to run back and then grab the ones on that side. But either way, we should be grabbing the herbs as well, but I think we've got quite a bit of herbs back at the base. That might be a little fun project actually in one of these videos, to sort of just make everything into a potion. But I don't think you get XP when you make potions. I'm not quite sure. I know eventually Herbleur might become part of the game, which at that point we would really have to do a lot of farming, gathering herbs, because we really don't have a lot of herbs. Um, if that would be the case, I think Herbleur would be a really cool skill for the game, as it would give more reason. Obviously, each potion does something different, but I think it would be a very cool skill to add. And it's interesting because each different quarter in 2026, they plan to add, seems a new skill, right? So it would only make sense that in 2027 that there's a good chance that potentially every quarter they're going to add new skills to the game as well. So those probably are going to be Herblore. And I can't be certain for what the other ones might be, because obviously they have not given any more indication to what that might look like. But once obviously that time comes closer, then we'll have a better idea of what they plan to add. But I do believe Herblore will come in 2027. So that gives us plenty of time though to sort of get herbs and prepare for that. So, and I know we'll have enough clay vessels because we already have such a ridiculous amount that it's absolutely wild. So, um, I know they talked about steel coming to the game, so then that would potentially mean that we're going to have to get coal. So I'm wondering if coal's going to be sort of in node form, or will we have to go inside some sort of mine? I think it would be really cool if they added a mechanic to the game that you sort of maybe had to produce it somehow. Maybe we, like you got stone boulders. Maybe it would be some sort of giant node that you sort of mine, and there's the abyssal demon. So we're gonna have to fight him. I really want to do it with magic, but the only way to do that would be to save spot him, and that means we're gonna have to find a safe spot to do it so we can get a big chunk of magic XP if I can get over this ridiculousness. So I think we're gonna go up here and try to safe spot him on top of this if we can land correctly. Alright, here we go. So it's not a ridiculous amount of magic XP, but it is some. So in case you haven't fought the Abyssal Demon, which most of you probably have unless you're a new player, safe spotting it can be a really good way to go about it. You don't have to, though. If you've got a shield and you've got some weapon, you're primarily and most likely going to be okay. Primarily was the wrong word to use there, but you know what? When you talk as long as I do, you're going to make mistakes, so that's fine. Oh, we've leveled up in magic, so that's good. Level 35. And he is down and defeated. So we got that now. We're going to head out, and I'm just trying to think in my head where I want to go. I think we're actually going to change what we're doing up a little bit. Try to keep it fresh. Let's go back here. Oh, and neither one of them got away. That is the story today. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of iron. We are still trying to get that mining, so that's right. I've got to keep on track. So much going on. Okay, so this is actually a really rich copper area, and the reason I usually don't get it is because, like I've stated, there's 2 Garu right there, and I just don't want to deal with them. So hopefully we can get these without actually aggroing them. But if not, then we'll have to fight for our life. That's fine. I don't want to die, but sometimes you just gotta do stuff. So I know we talked about potentially going after gold and silver, but I'm not quite ready to do that. So I haven't done it. Let's go here and grab this iron. And then I thought that was flax. I've sort of got this new addiction to flax. It really wasn't there before. I sort of saw it everywhere and thought, I'm just going to leave it. But needing to build as many mannequins as I do, I know I'm going to need a lot. So now I sort of, my brain has sort of triggered by it. So I always got to grab it. So let's go here. There's always a bunch of iron here. I don't think it's quite respawned from last time. I don't see the sheep. There they are, and some rams. I really don't want to go do that right now. I do, but at the same time, I'm currently trying to level up my mining, and you can't do it all. So we will go over here, and let's see. We're waiting to load in. This is where all of our junk is that we've built. Unfortunately, there's some more sheep, but let's go ahead and grab all this copper. It's interesting too is if you look at the roadmap, they mentioned lesser demons. I believe, was it in the initial one? I'm not quite sure. So I think when range comes out, maybe that's a good opportunity for them to introduce lesser demons. And once that does come to the game, I know we're going to be spending a lot of time getting killing lesser demons. In fact, the only thing is I know that they're probably going to be extremely powerful and not the easiest thing to kill. But so hopefully they drop something of a great value, potentially some sort of rune but then they would have to sort of update magic so that way it made more sense, because right now you can't use a lot of the different things, um, a lot of the different runes. So I think it just, maybe that's how they tie that in. You have to kill lesser demons to get blood runes, and then you can do some sort of blood rune spell. I think that would cool sort of tie in with the ancient magics, or something like that. I think that would be really cool. But where is the spot you're supposed to walk up? I thought it was right here. Interesting. Oh, it's right here. So up here, and we've got some more iron ore. It's such a weird place to put it. I mean, it makes sense. It's just a little bit tricky to navigate. And then once you hit it, it doesn't always just go to your inventory. It falls on the ground. Our inventory is actually almost full. So we're going to jump back down, go back to our base, drop it in, and move on to the next. So we've got quite a bit of each of these. And we've got gems, drop in there, and we've got, one thing we don't have over here now because we've destroyed a lot of stuff is a pottery station. Where is it at? Where? My brain. Pottery wheel, ash log, stone, and coarse thread. We're gonna need that for our pottery station. So I feel like my brain's fried. Ash logs and coarse thread, was it? Let's see. Man, my memory not great. Stone and coarse thread. Okay, there's coarse thread. Nah, that's ridiculous. And oh, isn't that lovely? Okay, let's go. Stone. There we are. Okay, so we are gonna need to build this really quick. Put it right here. We've got so much junk all around. It needs better roof coverage. Interesting. There we go. Now it should work. So let's go ahead. Actually, yeah, we can do that. We'll just pop this here and do this. And we could drop all these inside the kilns upstairs, but I don't really want to do that right this second, as I don't want to get too far off track because we are trying to still get mining XP. If this would work. There we go. So we'll drop it in our things to do chest. Okay, that's great. Oh my gosh, I wasn't paying enough attention to the screen. Hopefully they don't hit one of my chests and then my stuff just goes flying everywhere. I wonder if that's just the Garu who do that. I'm not sure. Okay, they're all dead now. Let's go ahead and drop these in here. And that should be good. Something else I guess I could do really quick. It is construction XP, but at the same time I do need to do it anyway, so I guess now is a good time, right? Better now than later. So I want to make sure that these are aligned correctly, otherwise it won't look right. I think that's pretty good. The only issue with it, it's better to go like this, side to side, because it sort of helps keep it in track. But that's all we could make, I guess. That's great. So anyways, let's get back to mining. I don't know. I get distracted easily. Sort of just move my focus all over the place. So sort of out of room in all my chests. I think I need to build another one. I mean, I don't need to, clearly. I've got issues. I've got to get the things that I do have in order, so that way we don't have these issues. But at least we've learned a lot about that's so interesting. Earlier I accidentally used an artisan potion when I crafted all those vessels. Doesn't really matter now. sort of already done. So what can't worry about it. I'm just looking for my anti-poison potions that I left in here, and now everything's a mess. So it's gonna be a little bit time to find it. But in order to go get gold and silver, we're gonna need it. There they are. Okay, let's go. Time to go into the belly of the beast. So this is great XP here for these, and ultimately, I really don't think that there's anything great you can make with this stuff right now. Hopefully, once you can start making amulets and things like that, then obviously they have a better use or something. But for right now, they don't really have a good use. What's this here? Yes, the amulet. So I know I've got a couple different items here I can't even use yet, but hopefully we can make them with all the different resources we get, and that would actually be really cool. But now we've got to kill this guy. I don't have enough energy. There we go. So he's on the ground. Gives us a little bit of time to get him, and then we will drink a little water and eat a little food. Pick up all that stuff. And I will use my blast on the next one. As I've already started on this, it really wouldn't make sense to do that. So we've got that. This has always been the tricky one, right? Or I actually already got the tricky one. That's good. So, why? Did it just fly off the cliff? Wow, I just saw it. What in the actual... That's ridiculous. It's just gone in the water. How not right? How not cool? But ultimately, I guess we got the XP, and that's sort of important. So let's go ahead and blast all these really quick. I mean, like, ultimately, we're not going to be able to reach 4 million XP in just this one episode. And the reason for that is because it just takes time. I mean, honestly, it takes a long time to sort of get all this XP in bulk. So it's just sort of a patience thing. But every step that I get closer is actually a step in the right direction. So there's actually another, I think it's silver node, and I don't actually have a lodestone on it. It's like, I believe, right in front of me down that cliff. I don't think I ever put one there, as it's one of the like bare ones. It really only has like 5 on there, so it's not essential that I got it. The most important one, it's so hard. I don't even want to look at those blood logs. It makes me want to go get them all. But yes, the most important one actually, when it comes to mining out here, is obviously these rich ones. But then there's another one that's really important. I don't want to fall, but there we go. Yeah, so there's another one that's really important, and it's right here. This is, in my opinion, the best one out here. You've got all this gold ore. Really excited though for when they decide to give us something that we can make with all these different gold ores. I think you could probably use some of it to make certain armors right now, but yeah. So just it would be very helpful to have other things you could use the gold bars and silver bars to make. I know they were talking about adding split bark armor, so potentially we might, obviously not going to use this. That's probably going to be a new sort of tree, or I'm not sure. I wonder if they'll add fletching to the game. That would be interesting. Fletching was always a fun skill in RuneScape. Just have to wait and see what the other ones are that are unannounced, and they're not even going to be here. They're not even going to be here until 2027. That was bad. There's something wrong with me. I can't even speak. It's ridiculous. Quite irritating to have those issues. So that's pretty much it. There is another node way over there. I didn't set a lodestone there, as I don't know why. I just felt like I didn't want to do that. So let's go here, grab all this. But definitely get a lot of XP. I think we're going to jump now inside the actual dungeon and Did I not bring my anti-poison? There it is. Brought my potions. I've actually got to empty my personal storage chest as well, because currently inside there right now, I've got a lot of charcoal. So that needs to come out. So that way, when I'm doing stuff like this, I don't have it filled up with, essentially junk. Because charcoal's good for filling up kilns and stuff like that. But ultimately, that's about all it's good for. So let's go ahead. I think they got all that. We will pick up the swamp weed just because. So we're going to be doing this one. And yeah, I think the game itself is already pretty amazing. I think that over time, they will add things that will just truly add to it and make it an even more amazing game. I mean, if you think about RuneScape when it first started, it had a lot of cool things about it, but the graphics weren't great and the skills were pretty limited, and it was a huge progression over time. I think that's kind of what we're looking at here, except we've got great graphics. This isn't not an MMO either, so it's different in a lot of ways. So, but I think that it's still very exciting, and you can play it as if it was an MMO, though. I think for the most part, they're obviously lacking certain things that an MMO would have. So, in I guess what they want to say, traditional, you can't necessarily say it's obviously like an MMO, but at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen with this game. I mean, ultimately, they stated that they want to make bigger worlds, they want to add lots of different creatures, and overall, just do a lot of different things. So, I think that is going to mean a lot of different things. I've got to drop something. I've got too much. But yeah, so I think that's going to mean a lot of different things, and it's going to take shape in ways that we just probably can't even quite comprehend right now. I'm just hoping that the decisions that they make and that the direction that they go take us to places in the game that are always going to be exciting and sort of keep adding to the game. And right now, Magic was really cool, but I'm more excited about the graphical enhancements that they made. But obviously, yes, Magic was really cool, but they didn't really fully develop on it. I feel like they missed a lot, and but then it's interesting. We waited. I'm not going to say we waited a ridiculous amount of time to get Magic, because we really didn't. But what I will say is they can add a lot to it if they want. And I'm not sure if that's the plan or not. So I don't know if they plan to make it so you can use other runes to do different spells. So they definitely left the door open to potentially add a lot. And I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, we want it all right now, and it's going to look, so I mean, it's tough. I'm not disappointed with the direction that they're going. I think it's all just going to take time, an incredible amount of time, especially with the layoffs that Jagex just had. They said it's not going to affect any of the development and things like that. And honestly, I think all these things have to take time, because if you give us it all right now, then it sort of takes away from the actual game, because then you have the whole experience right now, and then essentially you don't really have the same, um, you'll play, but how long, will you play if you just sort of shove it all down our throat at once? It won't be quite the same as if they took their time and slowly put it into the game. I think it changes the experience you get while playing the game. So, I mean, I imagine that we're probably running out of time in this video. But before I actually leave and sort of send you guys off for today, I would like to drop a couple things in the kilns, sort of drop a couple pieces of flax. So just ultimately do a couple things before I send you on your way. I think that would be ideal. I'm just trying to look through and make sure we sort of empty out all the stuff that we can do really quick while you guys are still here. So I try to keep it to about 30 minutes, but to be quite honest, sometimes there's just more I want to do, and I got 30 minutes a day to sort of fit it all in, and I think that's a pretty fair amount of time. I obviously I know that a lot of people got a lot of stuff going on, so anybody who decides that they want to watch even just 5 minutes, I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate that you give me your time, as time is a very valuable thing in general. So there's lots of other ways you could be spending your time. So I appreciate you guys checking out our content and sort of enjoying um, what we're trying to show you guys here. So we're going to be popping all those in there, letting them do their thing. And then we left these right here. So let's go ahead and grab those, drop them in. And then next time we are in episode, what, 12, I think, right? No, it'd be 13. I don't even know what day it is. I don't even know. I'm all over the place. But ultimately, in the next episode, we are going to be essentially working on more gear for our mannequins. We are going to be um, potentially working on construction. I don't really want to work on construction, but I think I have to spread my time across all different skills so that way I'm sort of contributing to all of them in our efforts to road to max. So I probably will keep the video going for a little bit longer, as I would like to ultimately I would like to at least let all these different things sort of finish their cycle, except obviously the planks. I'm not really concerned about that. But the rest of the stuff, yes. So let's go ahead and pull out the rest of these furs. And was that my artisan? It was. We're gonna need that out. And let's see what we got. We got a little bit more here. It's so hard because for the longest time I didn't use the control click button, and it makes it so much easier. But it's like almost like learning something new, so I'm not always the best at it. So sometimes I'm making mistakes on that. Um, let's make sure we pop our artisan potions, so that way we run through here and grab all these different things. We're sort of making sure to get the most benefit out of it. Let's see. It's so weird. I just grabbed all that, and oh, that's right, it goes in here. All right, so let's drop those in there. Gonna go drop a little bit more up here, and grab all this XP really quick. So that's quite nice. It's all, oh, almost made a mistake there. Those were actually supposed to go into the sawmills, but we're actually going to do an XP update here in just a couple seconds. I want to drop this stuff in here. Ultimately, there's not a whole lot more we can do right now with the time that we have, so we're just trying to sort of get in a position where we can go over our XP. So we've got 249,000 in attack. We didn't really touch that. A little bit at the beginning. Wood cutting 729,000, construction 1,065,000, rune crafting 337,000. We did work on that a little bit. Magic 9,200, mining 3,893,000. So we're about 107,000 XP away from 4 million. Artisan almost at 2.7 million. It's at 2,690,000, and then cooking 91,364 XP. So we've got a long way to go, and it's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. Tons and tons of work. So anyway, guys, we really appreciate you watching our content, and until next time, Legion Nuta out.